Thomas! Oh!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by pierre-emerick.
Lev?
Am I doing this, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
What?
I'm
Welcome to the Arsenal Lounge, guys. Everyone in the chat, this is our Transfer Weekly with our main man, Edu. And obviously, we all know my fellow lounger, Shaheen, otherwise known as Pablo. So look, there's a lot of news going on out there. Not sure how excited we are about it. And I've been already looking in the chats and some people dropping some crazy comments and whatever. So we're just going to go into this and find out what is happening out there. So first bit of news I would start with, I mean, the one that seems to be, hot topic at the moment, Ramsdale. So this is one of the areas we've got to go through some of the areas that we need addressing on. But let's start with a goalkeeping situation. So Ramsdale, apparently we're in advanced talks with him. I think the figure that's being bounded around is around 24 million plus add-ons further down the line. I'm not sure how I feel about this right now. I think we've discussed other goalies. I'm going to let Edu go into this first because I know he's the main man he's spoken about a few times is Onana. That's his name. So Edu, I'm going to start with you on this. Yeah, Ramsdale, excited, not excited? What's your thoughts?
I can't say disappointed because it's something beyond that. I mean, we have so many issues. We have so many things to address. It's nothing against Ramsdale. He's not a bad keeper, but you're paying £30 million. He would be the 6th most expensive goalkeeper ever. And he's going to come in as a number 2. And then I ask myself, is this good planning? Is this what we should have done? And look, if you wanted Ramsdale, why didn't you do it before? Now, entering the season, and we need an attacking midfielder. We need a right back. We need so many things. And they're spending an incredible amount on players that are not first priority, in my opinion, right now. I mean, you can sign a number 2. What are the odds that the number 2 is going to play much as well? So £30 million is a huge investment. And I'm not even sure if he's ever going to be better than Leno at one point. So it's for me, it's more than questionable for the board.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I've got some stats on Ramsdale we'll run through in a minute. I'm not going to scoff at it yet because we have this tendency, and some people in the chat have said some interesting things, like Seaman wasn't first choice when we got him and all of that. And I'm not saying he might have the potential. We might be incorrect, but 30 million for someone that we would deem a backup, for me, we're not going to spend 30 million on a backup. He's either contending for the position or we know something. There's something we don't know about Leno. But Shaheen, firstly, what's your thoughts on this Ramsdale situation? I mean, do you know much about him? Have you seen much about him? Or
no, excuse me. No, I don't. It's a questionable move. Again, we had the keeper that we had, Matt Ryan. Mm-hmm. He was there, free, no problem.
Yep, okay? He wanted to stay, right?
Him for free, right?
Yeah.
So it's either that these guys got a lot of money, right, that they're going to spend, or I would have thought that Matt Ryan would have done the job for now, and then you could have possibly signed somebody like Ramsdale next season. You already had a backup keeper, so if you're spending £30 million on a backup keeper, where is that going to leave you to come up with money for a Maddison, for a I don't know, another player that we need, a central midfielder that we're looking to sign? Or is it that plan has been shelved? People talking about David Seaman, all of these things. There's nothing against the boy.
Exactly.
Ramsdale, it could be a good keeper. It's just that we're looking at sitting here scratching out, thinking what's happening at Arsenal. This is not the most. This is one of the areas that needs to be addressed. But £30 million for a backup keeper is a bit.
So let me get this straight, right? You guys, it's not the issue of bringing in Ramsdale. you guys, your issues are, just to verify, you think that they're spending too much on an area that really doesn't, we could get away with an Onana for like 6 or 9 million, whatever it is,
Absolutely.
and spend that 30 million elsewhere. Is that what you're saying, Shaheen and Eddie?
No, what I'm saying is Onana may not necessarily be an answer, because if you get him for 6 or 7 million, he's not going to play either. The best outcome would have been keep Matt Ryan, right, offer him a year contract or something, right? Sign Onana. So during this time that he's banned and all of these in Africa Cup of Nation and all of that, you've got Matt Ryan. And then when Onana is sorted, you can get rid of Matt Ryan, or you can sell Leno.
Okay,
and keep Matt Ryan as a backup.
That's an excellent point.
But we're now finding ourselves paying over the odds for a keeper. Let's not mention him, a backup keeper, right? And then my worry is, if we're spending 30 million on that, where is that going to leave the budget for a right back, for a striker, for an attacking midfielder? There's these 3 areas, as well as the backup keeper, was the main areas that needed to be addressed.
Well, we're going to touch on those areas, because I want to go through those other areas. But very quickly, with regards to Ramsdale, right? I can't see Arsenal spending 30 million and having him as a backup. It don't make sense. It's not the Arsenal way. If they're spending 30 million, they've seen something, in my opinion, in this lad that they think like he's the next big thing as a goalkeeper. He was on the cusp of the England squad. I think Henderson did he get into the squad last minute, or did he not make the squad? He's on the verges of England.
He was in the provisional squad.
Yeah, he was in the provisional squad. So looking at his stats, I mean, obviously he started off at Sheffield United, right? And then I think he got bought by Bournemouth. He was in the Prem. I looked at his stats. Like in total in the Premier League, he's played 75 games, right? Appearances. Both teams, well, he's played for 2 different teams. Both of them ended up relegated. 75 games entirely in the Premier League, 10 clean sheets, 16 wins, 50 losses. We've got to take into account who he was playing for, to be fair. Goals conceded 125. Errors leading to goals was only 3. But I'm looking at it, right? And where it stands out for me is on the ball. He seems to be very good on the ball. This is they're saying he's got some long balls. He had about 450 odd completed long passes. Is it that they've looked at him and thought the way they want to play, it's got to be someone good on the ball, and maybe they see him as that person? And on top of that, in the transfer transfermarkt.com, the highly respected site that gives you all the sort of valuations of players, he's only valued at 10.8. So one, is it because they're looking at him and thinking he's the right type of player on the ball? And is there something we don't know about Leno? And 2, are we paying way over the odds? Edu?
I think we are truly paying over the odds because he's English. That's the thing. He's homegrown. That's what holds the value here. If Ramsdale was like Norwegian or something like that, he would be worth 10 million. And for me, that's the thing. I mean, you have Onana, who's a proven champion, proven UCL goalkeeper, going for 6-7 million, and you're gonna have to wait for him like 3 months. In general, your backup goalkeeper doesn't really play in the league, so would it be a big problem for us? No, I don't think so. And look, Ramsdale, you're buying him for 30 million, and he's your bet to the future. He's gonna be here for 5 or more years. So that's the thing, in my opinion. This is a huge decision, because if you sell Leno, Ramsdale's going to be your number 1, and I highly doubt Ramsdale is the level for us to compete for titles. I mean, nothing against him. He's a decent keeper. I've seen him play, and he's a bit shaky. He doesn't inspire confidence like you would expect from a 6th most expensive goalkeeper ever. I mean, if you're paying 30 million pounds for a goalkeeper, you have to at least guarantee yourself that this keeper is going to take you to where you want to go. And like, I've seen a consensus that like 95% of the fans don't think that's the case. I would say even 99%. And even experts, they could tell you that Ramsdale's a good keeper. He's got good intangibles, but like in general, he's not going to be what we need going forward. And for me, that's the thing. If you buy somebody for a big amount, take in fact Lacazette, Pepe, now they don't have a resale value. I mean, if you paid 50 for Lacazette, you paid 72 for Pepe. Will you get anywhere near close to that now? I'm fearing that this will be the same case with Ramsdale. Then we're going to end up selling him for like 10, 8 million pounds, and then that's 20 million down the drain that went to the drain like that. So I think we have to be smart. And look, Ramsdale hasn't started a bidding war for us to go and pay over the odds. That's my take. If you want him as number one, write this season out with Leno, and then you go out next year and buy Ramsdale. But you have to address the issues. I mean, they could have 200, 300 million pounds in the bank, but there are 20 days left of the transfer market. And the clock is ticking. Tick tack, tick tack, tick tack.
Yeah.
Are you going to buy 4 players in that amount of time, knowing we are Arsenal? Absolutely not. So
let's hope it's not ticking like a time bomb, because it could blow up in our faces very quickly.
Look,
go
on, Lev. When we hit August 31st and they don't bring Maddison or someone like that, the fans are going to go wild, and I don't want to see that, honestly.
Well, let's hope. Edu, thanks for that. Shaheen, before I come to you, very quickly, we got Wayne.
Wayne
He always gives us a super chat. Wayne Sage, how you doing, my brother? Thank you for supporting. You're always dropping a super chat. Ramsdale passes the ball like Edison. There you go. This is what I was talking about. I think they've seen something in him on the ball. Watched him a few times, and he made some incredible long passes to the striker. He's also 23 years old. This is where I'm coming from. I'm trying to look at it and see where they, why they would look at him and want to value him in such a way. And what I think that they've seen is him on the ball. Shaheen, you wanted to say something? Sorry.
Yeah. I was just saying, we only put super chats up, for that. But there's a comment from someone like Big Lang, which is funny. I found it funny, and I want to put it on the screen. Ramsdale looks like money laundering, and it does. Listen, at the end of the day, Lev, right? If comes 31st of August, right? We've signed Ramsdale, Maddison, and a solid centre midfielder, or Ramsdale, Maddison, and Tammy Abraham, for argument's sake, right? Then people are going to be like, all right, let's see what's going to happen. Comes 31st of January, if you sign Ramsdale, and not any of these names, or you haven't really addressed any of the problems, then people are going to ask a lot of questions.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. For me, if they sign an attacking midfielder, a right back, and a center forward, I'm more than happy. Okay, Ramsdale, come in. I don't mind, because we have the money to spend. But if that's not the case, then serious questions have to be asked.
Well, look, I'm gonna give Ramsdale the benefit of the doubt based on the statistics. I think they're going for him due to his ball playing capabilities. Leno looks weak on the ball. Let's be honest, he keeps giving it away.
Look,
Lev, to be.
It's
both of you coming at me, yeah?
No, I'm going for you. I mean, I think we have to support Ramsdale if he comes, man. It's not his fault that the club want to pay this amount for him. I mean, if you would be Aaron Ramsdale and they tell you have the chance to play for Arsenal, would you take it? Of course. He's an Arsenal fan as well, so it's a no-brainer for him.
I was just going to come to and support of that. It's not about the boy. It's not about Aaron Ramsdale.
Exactly.
Right? It's about Arsenal spending £30 million on a keeper. I'm not going to even say that he's going to come in, and there's other areas that needs to be addressed too. That's what it's about. It's not about Ramsdale or I don't know, Sam Johnson or any of these boys.
Well, look, if we're spending 30 million on a goalkeeper, knowing Arsenal, we know they're tight. For me, there's a reason that not just that, they must see him as a potential number one. And then maybe there's an issue with Leno. And going on to that very quickly, with Shadman393, thank you for your donation. Thank you for your support. I have a strong feeling that Leno will be offloaded in January, and we will possibly bring Onana in January. I think his ban will be done by then. That's an interesting take. I do like the idea that, there's something going on in the background with Leno. There was mutterings that he was going to leave this season. So maybe that's why they're spending a little bit extra and see Ramsdale as a number one. But, we'll all come out in the wash. So we're going to move on to other areas. Now, Ramsdale's 23. So he's got a ceiling. Maybe if he does come good, he'll be worth a lot more money. And people are arguing the case that this is what we're doing right now. We're buying youth, bringing it in, and hopefully, that youth will start to develop and have sell-on values in the future. But then we go to the right-back position, right? And this is where there's a contradiction, because now the rumours are, and Edu, I'll come to you first on this, because I'm sure, you've been doing your research on this, and that's why we love having you on. The one that seems to be coming up a lot is Trippier, right? Now, look, I'll be honest. He surprised me. He went to Atletico, done really well. This guy's 30. We're talking about 34 million. Now, that doesn't make sense, and that's not very Arsenal purchase. How genuine do you think this link is? Do you think he's our right back target at the moment?
I mean, I can't really tell you he is the one, but I'm telling you that definitely he's not going to be worth 34 million pounds. That's not going to happen. If he comes, he's going to be for like 20 something, but like 34, no. I mean, no. I can say that Trippier's a great right back. I wouldn't mind him, but I mean, there's positions that you have to address, and if you put Trippier at right back, I wouldn't mind, honestly, because we are so bad at that position that God, anybody could help. And if it's Trippier, who's an English international and was the best right back in La Liga last year, I mean, I would be more than happy. Although he's 30, it's not positive because the money you're going to spend there, it's not going to come back. So, but not always you have to buy to sell in the future. And I think if he comes, I would back him. I mean, he's an ex-Tottenham player for a lot of years, so that's I mean, it would be interesting to see if he accepts coming to Arsenal. That would talk a lot about him. So, I mean, that's my take on that.
Trippier could do it.
That's my take on that. I mean, he'll be undisputedly our best right back and probably one of the best in the league as well. So, I'll take him for like 20-25 million max, not 34.
Yeah. I agree with you. 34 sounds a bit high. I don't know if that's just paper talk. Shaheen, I mean, what's your take on this Trippier situation? Would you have him at right back, or would you go for a younger guy maybe like a Max Aarons, which some people have mentioned in the chat here?
Yeah, it's not based on what I've seen so far of Arsenal this transfer window. I don't think this is something that they're going to do, because this is a 30-year-old guy. He's going to come in.
He would improve our right back situation 100%.
Yeah, he's better than what we have. But if you're going to spend that sort of money on Trippier, I'm sure you can go out and get Max Aarons with that money as well, or at least tempt Norwich. Because that is a player that might have a sell-on value. Again, homegrown, young, and I think Arsenal going down that route. I'm not sure if this Trippier thing is anything in it, to be honest with you. And also, I don't think Arsenal will address all the problems that needs to be addressed, right? So one or two positions will fall short and they will not get addressed. And I have a feeling this right back is one of them.
Come on, don't tell me we're going into the season again with Bellerin, Chambers,
you've got Cedric, Bellerin, and Maitland-Niles. Okay, depending on the finances and who is in for these players. Remember, nobody is coming for Bellerin. Right? I know. Remember, at the beginning of the transfer window, I remember I was doing shows with Edu. You remember his agent went to Spain. He was going around clubs to find clubs for him. He's still here.
Now, do you remember that video that was going around? That audio that was going around about, I think he was talking in a cab and someone had recorded him and he was saying he wanted to leave and he didn't enjoy the training anymore. I think that was under Emery, wasn't it?
I don't think you will see many Arsenal fans that would say, no, we should keep Bellerin at all costs. I don't think you'll see many, very few, if any. But on the other hand, you need to see who wants to take him at how much. Remember, Roma came in for Granit Xhaka with a silly offer, and we said, no, we're keeping him. Right? It might be a situation with Bellerin as well.
Okay? Arteta was trying to convince Bellerin to stay.
What? Recently?
I don't know what he's there to convince.
Actively.
But remember...
however, Bellerin wants to leave, so that's a positive thing. I mean, Arteta can't ruin us anymore, so...
Listen, I very rarely say this about a player, right? I'm very positive. I support my team to the hilt. But Bellerin, for me, needs to go. He's just not cutting it anymore. Very quickly, go on.
Lev, we forgot. We've got Chambers there as well. Callum Chambers. I know you do that, but, you have to say he's probably the best option out of all of these boys. And he's been playing there towards end of last season, this start of season. And I'm sure he's going to start at right back on against Brentford.
Well, we knew this was going to happen. Every start of a season, we're never ready, are we? Let's be honest.
I understand. But you need to look at it and say, right, we've got Callum Chambers, we've got Bellerin, Cedric, and you've got Maitland-Niles. That's 4 players, right, that can play that position. Okay, so then Arsenal might be thinking, are we not better off to maybe we can get away with it this season?
Oh, come on, Shaheen,
And
man.
then
Wouldn't they do
addressing
that
them-
with the goalkeeper situation and get a better right back?
Lev, you really think Arsenal going to address all the issues to beginning to end of transfer windows?
Right, let's quickly say hello to Ethan Jones. Is that you? Yeah, yeah, Ethan. Nice to see you, bro. Strap yourselves in for a stressful season, lads. I know, Ethan, man. Hopefully, we'll get you on soon. You can tell us what you think. But yeah, thanks for your support, and let's see what happens. I mean, Edu, quickly, any other names other than Trippier? Like, some people are mentioning Baku on here. Some people say he's better than Aaron's. I like Max Aaron's, but everyone's
for me, the best choice is Riddle Baku. I mean, for me, it's clear he's the best prospect, and in general, Arsenal have not been actively seeking for a right back because of what Shaheen just mentioned. I mean, there has been a lack of offers for Bellerin, a lack of offers for AMN, so you can't really buy another one without at least selling one, because you're going to have 4 and then you're going to be stacked. What do you do with the other one? Do you leave him out of the squad and you're going to keep on paying him? So, I mean, Arsenal have to make decisions, and with 20 days left until the transfer window shuts, it's been very, very unconvincing by everybody, because I mean, you can't tell me there hasn't been any offers for anybody else other than Guendouzi and Willock.
Right, well, look, I mean, let's hope. I mean, we'd like to hear your thoughts in the chats. And before we go any further, please smash those likes, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't freeload. It costs nothing. Give us your support. We're here to try and get you as much information as possible. We're not saying we know everything. Edu's not saying he knows everything either. He just does a lot of research. It's what he's studying to be a journalist, and he knows a lot more than we do. So that's why he's here. He has opinions just like everybody else. So keep us posted. Let us know. Do you think we should be going for a cheaper option as right back and getting a £30 million goalkeeper, or do you think we should be doing the opposite? Getting a decent backup and spending more on a right back situation? Let us know your thoughts. So let's move this on then. So any news, Edu? I'll start with you. Any news on the midfield situation? Any more incomings and outgoings? I mean, we know Willock's gone. Is that the right decision? That's we could discuss that. And is there anyone potentially coming in? What, Shaheen?
I mean,
Shaheen wants to say something. He's got his finger up. When he gets his finger up, Edu, you got to say something.
I saw something, right? That is kind of like a video that defends Arteta.
What?
I'm not sure who's defending Arteta.
Ren Kelly. Kelly. Where have we defended
how long
him?
you've been watching us? But
exactly.
boy, anyway.
Look, moving ahead to the midfield situation, it's complicated because I think they trying to keep Xhaka to move the funds to other positions and afford Maddison, who we all know is the first top choice target. So it's that's the thing for me. You're spending 30 million on Ramsdale, but you're trying to move funds because you can't move Xhaka. So I mean, there are priorities in squad building, and I'm pretty sure Arsenal are not doing it correctly. I mean, I'm no director of football or anything, but like a regular fan can see that you need more of a midfielder than a goalkeeper to change the fact that we can't score or we can't create. I mean, Brighton, Leeds, West Ham, they all created more chances than us last year. So, and it's looking tough out there. So, look, in terms of midfield, I know it's Maddison, then it's Odegaard, and then it's Awar. So it's in that order. And speaking about center midfielders to accompany Partey, if Xhaka doesn't go, we won't bring somebody else. So
see, this is my gripe here, and Shaheen, I'll come to you in a minute. Is it just AMs we're looking for? Because in my opinion, right, okay, we've got Lokonga, we've got Partey. Partey gets injured. We've got Lokonga and Xhaka. Now, for me, we've been discussing this all throughout last season on this show in particular. We know that Xhaka's a technically good player, but we don't think he's suited for the Premier League throughout the whole season to carry us up to sort of top 4, top 6. The game's a bit fast for him here. He's a solid. I'd have him as a backup. El Neni I'd get rid of. Torreira we get rid of. Why are we not looking for someone like a Basuma just in case? Is there any talk of that? Why is it just we're mentioning AMs?
I mean, it's because Xhaka can't go. I mean, for some reason, Roma didn't up their offer. And being honest, now we've realized that he's not a wanted player. I mean, as much as some people rate him, and I like him, because I think he's improved, but he lacks in some phases that he's not going to be a wanted player. And I understand he lacks mobility, he lacks other things. So the plan was to get someone to be backup to Partey and then get another CM if Xhaka left. But Xhaka seems like he's staying. And again, Arteta likes him. He likes him. He thinks he's a leader. So you can't really go against your manager, man. Last season we saw that like, with Holding. You loan Saliba, you keep Holding, and it's all down to Arteta who makes those decisions. So yeah, that's the case right now. So
Shaheen, I'm going to come to you, but I'm going to do what you just did. I'm sticking my finger up. Yeah. And I'll tell you why, right? This comment right here. Yeah. Lundberg camp. I've blocked Eduardo Hagn on Twitter. He's one of those Arteta sexuals, blind positivity guys. This is another guy who's chatting total crap, because if he actually watched this show and actually watches what Edu's been tweeting out, he's not an Arteta sexual. We've been saying it from recently more so that we are doubtful that Arteta's the right man for this job, right? So where you get that from is total BS. Some people, they just want to fly off the handle for nothing. So back in your box. Shaheen, the midfield situation, bro. Do you think it's just an AM, or would you go for more than that?
I think what we need to understand, right, is that we don't have any European football. So we're going to be playing once a week. Okay. Now, if you're playing once a week, that reduces the chance of players getting injured. Okay. Also, other players might see this and will be thinking, if I go to Arsenal, right, the number of games are not as high as others. There's no European football. So maybe not. I don't fancy going, for one game a week competition kind of thing, right? So that's one thing we need to understand, okay? If Xhaka stays, which it looks like he's going to stay, I don't think we're going to see any centre midfielder. Because if we're offering Granit Xhaka, right, I'll guarantee you, or if you're offering him a new contract, I'll guarantee you we're not telling him, are you going to be a squad player? Right? And remember, Granit Xhaka under 3 different managers has never been a squad player. He's always been a starter.
They're obviously seeing something in him.
Yeah, well, remember, also, I might get some slack for this, but Granit Xhaka was one of our better players last season.
That wasn't difficult, though, was it?
Yeah, he was one of our better players last season. So for us to now to say, oh, mate, you're going to be a squad player, but it's not going to be like that. So I don't think we're going to see a centre midfielder coming in. I think we might see an attacking midfielder coming in, which again, if we want an attacking midfielder, right? What we're pussyfooting around this for what? Remember, I'll give you an example. I know we're not PSG. I know none of these things. But look, on Wednesday, right, or Thursday it was, Messi had an issue with Barcelona, right? 3 days later, he's announced as a PSG player. Quickly, in, done, finished.
Yeah, but look at the clout they have financially.
No. I'm just saying. I'm not saying we should
we've spent 105 million on 4 players that barely improve our starting 11. PSG have spent 70 million on absolutely world-class players all over the place.
Yeah, but let's just look at their salaries.
I'm not saying we'd have a window like PSG. I'm just saying this is how you do. I'll give you another example. Man City, right? Jack Grealish in the space of 1 or 2 days, done, finished. Southampton, Danny Ings, right, to Aston Villa. Well, they didn't even know. Apparently, it was done in 1 day, right? But us, we want a player, right? But we're going to send someone to negotiate first. We'll see what's happening and this and that. We're going to leave it last minute. And the problem with leaving things last minute is that Leicester will turn around and tell you, we don't have time to replace him now. You've left it too late. If you wanted Maddison, you should have got him when you wanted him.
He should be one of the first signings, no? He should be one of the first.
Come in.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Come in. Tell us, right, we want James Maddison, right? We're prepared to pay X amount of money for him. This is the money on the table. Let's do the deal. If you don't want Maddison, just go get the right player in, because the season is about to start. We're still where we were. Okay. We haven't signed the players that we needed to sign. We've signed players, not the players we needed to sign to address the problems that we had, right? A whole preseason has gone, and these guys are not in. So the guy is going to come in now, and I can just tell you now, for the first few weeks, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, but, you know, we're just easing him in now to learn how we're going to play and all of this rubbish. Well, why haven't you done it before? Every season, before we start, this is excuse. You're going to wait till last minute for some deals and this and that.
Fingers up. Something's going down.
Look, for me, I took the narrative from Arteta that he wanted to have a preseason with the team so the team could look better in the season. But then the preseason he has is with all the players that we know are not good enough. And then what do you get from that? Then Maddison, whoever comes in, is going to have a time of adaptation, just like Partey last year, and then he got injured and things like that because he couldn't get accustomed to the level of intensity of the game. Luckily for us, Maddison's a Premier League proven player, but in general, we have to do things faster, man. 20 days left, and what are the odds that we pull off a Maddison and someone else? And Maddison alone is not going to be enough. I have to keep reminding everybody of that. Maddison alone is not good enough. I mean, you signed White, Ramsdale. If you sign Ramsdale, of course, and if you sign Maddison, I won't be satisfied because we need either a striker or a right back, and they had the money to address those issues, but they were misplaced, and that's a completely different thing.
And you know what, Edu? Go on. Sorry, Lev. Edu is right, because now we can't really put this on Stan Kroenke anymore.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Nobody can turn around and say, "Oh, Stan Kroenke." Yeah, Stan Kroenke is a shit owner. Yeah, we all know that. But so far, we've spent the money.
Exactly.
This is on Edu and Arteta. And
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why I don't agree with that. Right?
Go on.
Every owner of a business is responsible for who he brings in and who's who actually comes into that team, right? And every person that he's that's been brought in has failed, and we've had lots of choppings at top level, and even recently, I mean, we had our scouts Mislintat and all of that went, and then now our physio's gone again. The physio that everyone seemed to be liking. There hasn't been a consistent team that keeps working, right? Roll was sacked. It goes on and on and on. And who's the main man who answers for this? It's got to be KSC. You can't just say, it's not them.
Lev, I disagree with you. I disagree.
I know for a fact that every signing the club makes has to be finally approved by KSC. So they are just as responsible.
More like KFC.
Listen, I just want to say so. I'm not defending Stan Kroenke out here. I just want you to understand. But
exactly.
Right? But Stan Kroenke doesn't know football. Stan Kroenke doesn't know players and this and that. So he brings in Edu, Vinay, right? These boys to do this job for him, right? If I go, I don't know, take over a business that I don't know much about, I'll bring the people who would run this business effectively for me, right? Should he have got rid of Edu and Arteta end of last season? Yes, but he hasn't now. Okay, so we are where we are. So the money has been provided. Stan Kroenke is not going to sit down on a table and say, right, I think we should go and buy Maddison, this and that. He probably don't even know who Maddison is. Right?
That's true.
These guys are the guys who identifying players and going out there and signing players. Okay, and they haven't done a good job by now.
Absolutely.
They're acquiring these people. They're bringing these people into our club, right?
Exactly. I mean, if they're the ones that are making decisions right now, it's because the Kroenkes put them there. And that's what we have to understand. And also, if we sign Maddison and Ramsdale, the spending would go up to 165 million at least.
And are we not in trouble already, Edu, because of the poor spending from previous, and we can't get rid of this deadwood right now, right?
Absolutely. So it's not looking good. And the decisions from the ownership to the directors to Arteta have been horrible. And there's no excuse. It's incompetence.
Let's try and move it on a little bit. And thanks for that, Edu. Before we do, Wayne again. Wayne is splashing the cash right now. You sure that's not you, Shaheen? Only joking, by the way. Wayne, thank you again, bro, for your support. Disagree, Shaheen? Well, it's definitely not you, Shaheen. Then we've addressed positions we needed. Backup left back Tavares, replacement for Luiz, Ben White, backup for Partey, Lokonga, backup keeper Ramsdale possibly. Our biggest problems was lack of creativity in the AM position. So thanks for that, Wayne. That's a good point. Good point.
I'm not sure if I agree with you, Wayne, on this one, because I
Well,
don't
that's
think
what it's
we've
about.
addressed
I agree, but that's not enough.
issues.
That's my take.
No,
Okay.
we haven't addressed the problems. We should have sold Xhaka, Bellerin,
Yes.
Kolasinac,
Maitland-Niles
Elneny,
and
Yeah,
Nketiah.
right? Willian,
Torreira, yes.
Nketiah, Torreira, right? They're all here.
Kolasinac
We
is
should
still
have-
here.
We should, yeah, I said that. We should
Oh,
have
did you?
purchased a solid centre midfielder. We haven't. An attacking midfielder. We haven't. Proper striker finisher. We haven't. Second keeper at this present time. We haven't. Right back. We haven't. We just bought a backup left back so far that we need to get, and that is it. So have they really addressed the problems? No, in my view. We've spent a lot of money, right? And I give you guys another example, right? Lev, if you buy let's say Iranian restaurant, right, and you put me in charge to run the place, okay?
You'd eat everything first.
But I'll come. You don't know much about Iranian food.
No,
right?
I don't.
I'll come to you and I'll tell you, right, Lev, listen, these are the ingredients I think we need to buy because these will make the food taste good.
Yeah.
You've recruited me, right?
Mhm.
So what would you say? You say, no, I'm gonna go do some research. You say, all right, if you think that's right, then go for it. Okay, it's the same thing with Stan Kroenke's. Arteta and Edu, right? They're wrong appointments. I agree, no problem. But they're here now, right? So if they're going to Stan or KSC and saying, listen, I think we should offer Granit Xhaka a new contract, right? I think we should offer Bellerin a new contract. I think we should buy Ramsdale for 30 million. I think we should do this. Well, he's going to say, okay, well, you're here to do this job. So, okay, let's do this.
I agree with what you're saying, but then flip it back on you, right? If I had hired you to run this Iranian restaurant, if we're going to stick to this analogy, right? And you came in and you done a really poor job, then I hired somebody else. I sacked you. I hired somebody else and you done a really poor job. At some point, I'm going to have to start taking responsibility for the
100%.
fact that I keep making poor decisions, right?
100%.
So, you know,
there's
one
no
of them.
argument there. There's no disagreement. I agree with you on this one, right? What I'm saying, right, is yes, they are at fault for putting these two guys in here in the first place, right? But now that they are here, they're not really doing a good job either.
All right, well, let's go on to Shadman393. Thank you for your support and your donation, bro. Edu should be let go after this season. We should get someone like Rangic or Luis Campos to come and take over. These are seasoned directors. This is what we're saying, isn't it? Like, we can keep saying, oh, it's their fault and this, that, and the other. But ultimately, KFC are the guys that are bringing these guys in, right? And they keep getting it wrong. And don't want to keep going on with the KFC analogy, but right now we're getting battered. So moving on swiftly, yeah. We talked about the AM very quickly. Coming to the AM, right? We were saying Maddison. If we get Maddison, it's still not going to be enough, right? I totally agree with you, right? But then, who else is in the running? If we don't get Maddison, is it Hwasimoa? Is it Odegaard? I mean, Bernardo Silva is now come into the equation as well. I mean, are any of these going to make a difference?
No, by themselves, no, absolutely not. There isn't a player that would make a difference, a substantial difference by himself, other than Messi out there. And that's the thing. If you don't sign Maddison and you bring Awad or Odegaard, it's the same thing. You still need a goal scorer because Aubameyang, and like I said, can't put the ball in the back of the net, and that's a huge issue. We scored 55 goals last year. That's unacceptable. We used to score 100 goals every season. So we can't create, we can't score. So these are priorities right now. And then you're spending 30 million on a goalkeeper. So for me, it's frustrating. I mean, you see the links to Lautaro, the links to Dusan Vlahovic, the links to even Tammy Abraham. Then you get excited, or like, oh, we're going to get a goal scorer. Those are the ones that put the ball in the back of the net and then can win you games. But then, no, you're not getting a center forward. And now there was a news right now that Roma are looking at, like I said, if they fail with Tammy Abraham. So if they can take him away from us, then we have the opportunity to sign a striker, and that would be great for us, in my opinion.
Okay, Tammy Abrahams. Let's discuss it. Striker, right? There's been some other names that have been sort of touted around, Martinez, but that's looking highly unlikely now for me. I can't see them losing both Lukaku and Martinez, especially when they've got almost 100 million coming in. I can't see them letting him go. He would be one of my preferred options. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So Tammy Abrahams. Shaheen, I'll go with you first, right? Tammy Abrahams. Is that somebody that excites you? I mean, Eduardo, is it Eduardo from Celtic? We were looking at Edward. Yeah, we were looking at him as well. So Shaheen, first with you. Tammy Abrahams, would he make a difference, or is it not the next Welbeck?
No, it doesn't excite me.
No.
Okay, and just when I answer this, we did a poll on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we put out there, we're about to sign Tammy Abrahams. Apparently, if this does happen, how do you feel about it? Right, 30% were excited, right? 35% were unsure, and 34% thought it's a wrong choice. So you can see people are very split on this. Okay, I think we're going to end up with a player like Tammy Abrahams because I don't really see Arsenal going out there, dropping their money. Look, Chelsea wanted Lukaku, right? They went out there, paid the money. Inter wanted money. They didn't want players. Paid, done, finish. If you really wanted Martinez, man, go out there. Inter want money. Before all of this Lukaku business, go out there, put up of a pressure, get it over and done with, finish. Maybe one, you would have got a good striker. Two, Lukaku wouldn't have gone to Chelsea. Okay, but no, we don't do that. We like, let us have a thing. Oh, we go, come back. Maybe we send somebody else to speak. And that's the result. So instead of having a Martinez type of striker, you're going to end up with the Tammy Abrahams. Why? Because that's what we can afford. And it will probably be a loan deal with an option to buy.
Obligation.
Or an obligation to buy.
They will never accept an option.
Yeah, with an obligation.
Wasn't there rumors that they wanted a buyback clause on him?
Yes. If they sell him to Roma, I highly doubt that Arsenal would accept such thing, because if they do, we will look very, very, very bad. I'm telling you.
Well, they must value him then. They must rate him.
Exactly. Look, for me, Tammy Abraham's not a bad player. I mean, completely opposite. But he's not good enough for the ambitions we should have. That's my take. I mean, for that money, you're going to pay 35, 40 million pounds. I would much rather go to City and get Gabriel Jesus, who's going to be worth the same. And for me, he's way more complete, offers you a lot more on the ball. And he can even play left wing, right wing when needed. So for me, that's sensitive business. I mean, what's the point on Abraham? I mean, you have to create for him. He can't create for himself. So it's the same as having Aubameyang. If Aubameyang doesn't score, he can't offer you anything else. Abraham could be 6'5", but he's horrendous in the air. He has two goals in his career that are headed goals at 6'5".
Man, well, there you go.
You see, there you have it, man. He might be a guy that will come in and help us to get closer to the top four, but that's about it.
Well, look, I'm going to play devil's advocate, though. They had Lukaku, Chelsea, years ago. Flopped hard. Went to Man United, flopped. Now he's gone to Inter, had one good season, and now he's back, right? There's been examples of players that were young, didn't do, who else was there? Mo Salah, same. You had De Bruyne as well. Came, didn't really work out for him. It can happen. Tammy Abrahams could come good, though.
Lev, I agree, but we're talking about teams that had a title challenging squad. We don't. We are horrible. We can't take a risk like that.
I'm trying to stay positive, man. What do you want from me?
That's the exact point I was going to make as well. Chelsea are ruthless.
Exactly.
More Salah, it's not happening. Out. De Bruyne
out.
Lukaku, out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's not happening. But then they go buy an Arjen Robben. Yeah. They'll go buy a proper striker. They'll go buy, So the fans, first of all, their mouth is shut. Second of all, they're getting results. If you become like this guy, Thomas Tuchel, right? He won the Champions League. He knows, right? If by January Chelsea are not competing for the title and they're in a good place for Champions League, there is a high chance that he'll be off. We're not like that, right? But we'll keep a player like Theo Walcott for seasons after seasons, give him every opportunity that is there to be given, and then we'll sell him when nobody wants him. We're not ruthless like that, man. That's the difference between us and Chelsea.
Well, you hit the nail on the head for me. We're not ruthless in regards to players. We are also not ruthless in the transfer window, because had we gone in at the start, like going back to what we were discussing earlier, and the first signing we made was a Maddison, right? And then a Ben White. When you've got a Maddison, people will start looking at that. Other players who are looking at what teams to join would look at that and gone, oh my God, these guys are serious this season. I want to go there. But we didn't. We got Ben White in for 50. Now we're scrounging around. We look like we're trying to sell Willock for 25, although someone's mentioned in it, it's not quite confirmed yet. I think it is going to be a done deal. But regardless, we need a goal-scoring midfielder. We're selling him to try and scrounge around to get a better AM in the guise of a Maddison. But then, you know, had we done that from the beginning, and like you said, Shaheen, with players, very good point, with the likes of Walcott and players in the past, we're waiting for them to come good. It's like we're in denial, where these other teams, they're in the transfer windows, they're ruthless, and on the pitch with their players, they're ruthless. If it don't work, they get rid of them. It's as simple as that. So we're not acting like a big club right now. And do you know what? This all or nothing documentary, unless we move pretty soon in this window, this all or nothing documentary could be absolutely damaging for the club. I just don't know what we're thinking.
It could be damaging. It's not going to be damaging for the club. It's going to be damaging for Edu and Arteta, mate, and Vinay. I'll tell you.
Well, that's damaging for the club if we're not working right, no?
Yeah, well, another thing, you see, Lev, right? Arsenal, right? We've left things. I don't know. If somebody asks me, what is the transfer philosophy of your club? I don't know. I can't tell them anything.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? If somebody tells me, mate, what's the plan of your club this summer, you know, and season going forward, I can't tell them anything. Because I don't know. Right? Well, and you're talking about, you know, oh, Tammy Abraham, this and that. We shouldn't be playing. We should be getting licked to players like that. We should be going out there, right, before everybody. This is what I said on the Monday show with Mo as well. I said, what worries me about Arsenal is that I thought finishing 8th and no European football is the bottom, right? This is the bottom line. So we can't go any lower than that. What they will do now, this is the red line. They will sack the manager. They will put in some money in. They'll bring a good manager and you know, we'll go back up. But it seems to me that is not the bottom. And that is what worries me. Because the managers is still here. I haven't seen anything in the transfer business that they've done so far for me to say, right, these boys, they're addressing the problems, right? And we're starting the season. So maybe finishing 10th or 11th or 12th is the bottom. And that's what worries me.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you made the other day on the show on Monday with Mo. Where is our line now? Where is our sort of target as to where we expect to be finishing? You know, before it was top 4. We were all moaning about that top 4. Are we only going for top 4? So then we told, you know, we now dropped to 6th, then 8th. You know, it just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. Where do we draw the line when someone actually turns around and says, "Hey, this is just not good enough," and it doesn't seem to be happening. So, Edu, what should we be expecting then, in your opinion, based on, you know, these next few days in the transfer window? What are we getting in your opinion? What is the targets and who will we see coming? Are we going to address all these positions that are issues, or are we not?
If you're asking me for my opinion, I think we will sign some players, but I am not sure who they want to target, because the scouting has been horrible, let's be honest. And look, it's not the same to spend 165 million on good players than spending 165 million on some people that will not improve you at all. And sadly, it's possible for Arsenal to go that route. So our expectations as fans should be challenge for top 4. The expectations we should have, if this remains like the case with the club making the wrong decisions, you're talking about at most top 6. So the ambitions the fans must have are not being marginal with the ones that the club are having, at least by the looks of what the scouting is. So they have to prove us wrong. I mean, they have to prove me wrong, because I mean, they turned me into a very negative person, and I've never been like this. I've always been positive, some way or the other. Some people used to call me deluded how positive I was in horrible situations, but now, I mean, there's a breaking point that you can't really continue going, because what's next? As you said, 10th, 11th. I mean, 8th for me, it's an embarrassment as an Arsenal fan. And I came into being an Arsenal fan, and we haven't won the league ever since I became a fan. I became a fan in 2008.
So there you have it. Edu is the jinx. That's what's happened. Since Edu's become a fan, we haven't won anything. But look at this. Going back then, very quickly, Shaheen, I'm going to come to you again, right? You were saying, obviously, we can't. You were mentioning Edu and some of the guys down there. They should go, right? Vinay and all those guys. This is the fundamental issue for me, because we're spending money, right? Look at Leicester. They're not spending that much more than us. They're not spending more than us. But they are getting the right type of players in. And when they get them in, they're worth even more money. And then they're making more money, right? So,
and then, look, continuously fighting for top 4.
Yeah. So
I have
the
two
issue
words for you.
Go on. Well, he's got 2 things.
Borussia Dortmund.
Yes.
That's what we should be aiming.
Well, we got Mislintat in, and then we let him go.
What happened? What happened to that? We saw what happened to that.
Yeah, and his argument was we were going for the wrong types of players, right?
I mean, Socrates, Torreira, that wasn't great scouting in my opinion. So,
no, but Guendouzi, that Greek boy, what was his name?
Mavropanos.
You know, these are the players who would have supposed to come in. Remember, at one point, Matthew Guendouzi was valued about £40 million before Arteta fucked his career up.
He should have just made the money from him and got rid of him if he was going to do it, right?
But we all agree that our club is not being run properly.
Exactly.
And I give you I'll back this up, right? Vinay, Edu, Arteta, right? All 3 of them are inexperienced. Okay? Edu's job before becoming director of football at Arsenal was a team coordinator at Brazil national team. Before that, nothing. Mikel Arteta, as Claude said famously, God rest his soul, was putting cones out for Pep Guardiola. Vinay, I don't even know who he is, where he's come from. Right? So you got people
and also
running,
Richard Garlick.
Well, he's new now. He's new now. I'm just talking about these guys have been here for a couple of years, right? So these boys are running a club with the owner who doesn't know much about football, right? All of this is just a recipe for disaster, man. And you've seen that. You've seen players walking away for free. Aaron Ramsey, right? Walked for free. The whole situation with Mesut Ozil, you're paying him £350,000 a week. You keep him for half of the season on a bench, paying him money. We don't even play him. And then you send him to Fenerbahce and keep paying his salary. Right? But settling things up with Socrates. You know what? I don't know about this, right? I need to think about this a little bit more, maybe before I even say it. But is there an argument, say Socrates would have done a better job for us than Rob Holding? Right? A lot more. I'll tell you that. You would never see Raheem Sterling getting above Socrates and putting a ball in the back of the net with a header. You will never see that. Right? Experienced player. But we settle his contract. Go. Spend £35 million on Staffy. Walks away for free. Right? So when you get inexperienced people running a club with the owner that is not experienced, don't particularly care, none of that, then what? This is you're going to get a club that is a giant, but he's on a free fall.
Yeah, we're like a Lamborghini with a Fiat Punto engine. Lift up the lid, lift up the hood, and underneath is not what it seems. This is what we're saying. We should be looking beyond the whole glitz and glam of Arsenal. It's underneath the surface. That's where the problems lie, and this is why we keep getting this repeat issues. But look, we're sort of about 6 minutes to go, Shaheen, right? So let's try and move it onto the game because the season starts on Friday.
Wayne managed to put a sneaky one in.
Wayne's one of those guys in the strip club who's just giving it all that, isn't he? Let's have a look. So Wayne Sage has got something else going. Edu was football director at Corinthians. Since Edu came to Arsenal, we've signed Martinelli, Partey, Gabriel, Odegaard, Ben White, Lokonga, Tavares. Bad recruiting. How? Oof. You know what?
Wayne, man.
does like to give alternatives, and he has got some good points there. Martinelli,
Has he?
this is
But has he?
striker-wise, we've not really even touched on Martinelli. Why, do we need another striker when we've got someone like a Martinelli, or should we be looking at homegrown, Balogun and Martinelli instead? Go on,
Hold
Sheen.
on, Wayne. I know, my friend. I'll just give you some names, right? Willian, Ronison, Suarez, right? Martinelli, yes, has been brought in, but you're a director of football. That means your position is above Mikel Arteta, right? So you go and sign the young boy, you bring him in. The manager is not playing him. Why don't you question the manager? Listen, this boy has got potential. Every time he's come in, he's done well. He saved your ass a few times, Mikel Arteta. Why are you not playing him?
Martinelli.
Nobody knows why is he not playing him.
Yeah,
William
Martinelli's
Saliba.
a strange one for me.
No, Martinelli came in before Edu was appointed.
Oh, so there you go. There you
Another
go.
one, Pablo Mari.
Is he that bad?
Well, listen.
Look, he's not horrible.
We conceded a goal
but you need
because
to
of him.
be better. I mean, way better.
Pablo Mari, what? He's gonna come on. It's another thing, like Edu said, like a Tammy Abraham situation. What, we're gonna win the league with Pablo Mari?
No.
Are we gonna play in Champions League with Pablo Mari? If you're a striker playing in a top team, you're gonna come up against Pablo Mari. You're not gonna be shitting yourself. If you're a top striker, you're coming up against Sol Campbell, Martin Keown, you'll be like, oh boy, it's gonna be a tough day today. You seen what? Holding and Mari.
Yeah, Rob Holding. For me, Rob Holding's a strange one. I see him. I don't think he's good enough. But, this is my thing with Arteta. The one gripe I've got, there's many, many players that he plays that I don't think are good enough, and he keeps playing them. But then there's other players like your Martinellis of this world, and I could give other examples, that he just don't play them. It don't make sense to me. So, we can harp on about this all the time. But look, we're getting close to time, and I want to sort of touch on the game coming up. And Shaheen's got his finger up again. Go, Shaheen.
I just want to be talking about these boys because it really winds me up, man, because it's all in front of us. I can see it. You can see it. Edu can see it. Everybody in the chat can see it. Whole the Arsenal fan base can see this. But nothing is being done about it. Nothing is being... These boys still have a job. Mikel Arteta is still... This is beyond me. This is beyond me. How the fuck, right? You finish 8th in a league. No European football, right? The way he handled... what's his name? Guendouzi, Saliba, all of these boys.
Oh, the Saliba one's a weird one.
Then you go and buy Willian, and you come and tell us, we're going to use his experience and all these bullshit. And you still got a job today. You're part of the recruitment team.
I can see why you didn't want to host today. You just wanted to vent. That's what it was.
Another
finger up.
They get on your nerves. They get on your nerves because we love this club, and it's all happening in front of our eyes. And we just have to accept it. Aston Villa sell a player. Director comes out, does a video, explain to us. When have we ever had an Arsenal director, a manager, come out and explain to us why Alexis Sanchez left for free? Why did we sell Robin van Persie to Man United? No, just fucking get on with it. We don't need to explain shit to you.
You're right there, Shaheen, yeah? All right, Edu, go ahead.
Touching on the subject that somebody said...
I was going to just end the show on that. Fuck this, let's end the show.
Touching on the subject that Martinelli was not brought by Edu, he was a Francis Cagigao recommendation before he was sacked. And that's why the club went to and signed him, but it wasn't Edu.
So there you go. It wasn't Edu.
You know
so
what?
look,
hold on.
Are you still ranting, man? What is going on with you today? What is
Listen, this, I just remember this. I see some people, and I'm not going to mention name, but there's this woman, right? She's got a very big Twitter account, right? And she goes and...
I thought you was going to say something else there.
She goes on an Arsenal podcast. She puts out a tweet, right? I'm not bothered after the Tottenham loss, right? I'm not bothered about the friendly games. They don't mean much. Season starts on Friday. Let's go, Gunners. They are part of the fucking problem. They are one of the reasons this club is like this today.
So you heard it here first. Shaheen's in a really good mood. Yes, it is a transfer show. Someone's put in here, is it a moan session? We've been talking about transfers for the last 55 minutes, and Shaheen's moaned for the last 5. So get over yourselves. So let him vent. If he wants to vent, let him vent. So let's move this on then, right? I know Edu had his finger up. Was there anything you wanted to say before I move on to the Brentford game?
Brentford game. And I mean, I don't have anything else to say apart from that I have blind hope that we can get something right in the next 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks that remain in the transfer market. And I'm not looking forward against City or Chelsea.
They're the ones that worry me the most, the City and Chelsea games. Brentford, let's have some predictions and like how you think the game's going to go. So I'll let Shaheen just calm down for a second. Edu, Brentford, how do you think it's going to go? And give me a prediction.
I think we will have enough for Brentford because they're just promoted and we're going to win 3-1. But after that, oh boy, we are not going to get out of the hood.
We'll talk about those in the coming shows. Yeah. Okay, so you think we're going to beat Brentford, yeah?
You're talking to me now?
No, Edu. You think we're going to beat Brentford?
3-1.
3-1. Okay. Shaheen, now that you've calmed down a little bit, people are feeling your pain in the chat as well.
I'm normally a calm person, but sometimes you talk about Arsenal and then you remember things and then you think, but this, but that. And then
it's like an ex-girlfriend that you just remember and you just all the bad things and you start going off on one.
We're all invested emotionally into this club, right? And they treat us like shit.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Right?
Agreed.
I don't know, man. I'm not confident. I'm not confident going to Brentford. Brentford is going to be up for it, right? They're going to be charged up. New stadium, first game of the season.
London
Derby, right? So they're going to be playing to the maximum of their ability, right? Whereas we can't score a goal, right? Thomas Partey is not there, so I'm not confident in that midfield. And we've got a leaky defense.
So your prediction? Pain.
Draw. 1-1.
1-1, yeah? Okay. All right.
Fun fact. The last game Brentford played at home in the Premier League was in 1947 against Arsenal.
What was the score?
I think we won because they got relegated after that.
Right. Well, look, I'm going to go in with this one, right? And I'm going to be honest here. This is what I think. I think we're going to have a game where we're going to keep the ball a lot. We're going to control a lot of it. But it's going to be one of those ones where we may be winning 1-0. We don't finish the game off and they get an equaliser. And the reason I say that is set pieces. I think we're weak on set pieces, crosses. I think they're going to target that, especially, with what they saw in the last 2 friendlies we played. We were terrible on crosses and set pieces. And, the right back situation is still a little bit of a concern. So I probably tend to agree with Shaheen. I can't believe I'm saying it. 1-1.
What are the chances of that one goal they're going to score will be on an individual mistake?
Yeah, 80%.
A Leno pass into El Neni or Xhaka, and then we give it away, or I don't know. Yeah, but 1-1 is what I'm saying. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the chats. We're now just over an hour. Is anything you want to say, Shaheen? Anything you want to cover that you don't think I've covered already? You look like you're a beaten man right now.
No, I've said what I needed to say, man. Do
you feel better?
I do feel better.
Good, man. But therapy session.
But but I know left deep down, right? They're not going to do what they need to do by end of the transfer window. What is today? Wednesday. Yeah. Not tomorrow, the day after. It's our first game of the season. And we're weaker than what we were last season.
That's very true. You could argue that case. We are weaker at the moment. Let's hope. Edu, anything else you want to add before we go?
I mean, I don't have much to say. I'm a broken fan right now.
Jesus, come on, guys, man. I'm trying to be positive here. So listen, let's hope, that we do some madness in the transfer windows. It can still be done, Arsenal. You can go out there. Absolutely. You can go out there and get us a Maddison. You can go out there and change El Neni and Torreira for a Basuma. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. You can get rid of Bellerin and buy a Max Aarons or a Baku for 30 million or whatever it is. We can improve this squad without paying stupid money. So please, if you're going to do something, do it now. We've got fans that are dying for success. They're paying lots of money through the nose every season. Do something for us. In the meantime, this has been the Arsenal Lounge. Shaheen's got his finger up again. Hold that.
I just want to say, on the off chance, that either Edu or Stan Kroenke watches this show,
is that where you're going with this now?
I'll give you a piece of advice. Go on. I'll give you a piece of advice. if you're not going to sign these players you need to sign, okay, the best advice I can tell you, get rid of Mikel Arteta, bring in Antonio Conte, give him whatever he wants money-wise. Right?
Isn't
Because
that the
Mikel
problem, though? We
Arteta
don't give
and
him
this
the money.
bunch of players, it's another disaster.
Okay, well, there you go. Thanks for the upbeat finish there, Shane. KFC, either you sort it out or get out, and we're done with the Walmart Nuggets, because that's what we are right now. So we don't want to change this channel to the Walmart Nuggets Lounge. So please, get out there, do what you're supposed to do. This has been the Arsenal Lounge. That's my colleague and fellow lounger, Shaheen. That's been Edu, coming out with all the info that we need. You guys, love your support. Keep supporting us. Like, subscribe, don't freeload, and we'll be coming out with some more content. And I think we've got an after-match reaction show live on Friday. So if you're free, come join us and come and have your say with me, Shaheen, and whoever else
on
wants
the
to come
channel
on.
and you can tell us your thoughts on the game and how you feel at the time. And
yeah, come do it. Come have a rant with us. Hopefully it's not a rant. Hopefully we're celebrating. But come on Friday night after the game. We'll be here. You come with us. Let's do this. This has been the Arsenal Lounge. I'm out of here. Shaheen, do you want to do the rest? You like to do that little tick-tick thing, man.